Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to Commute Talk. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about honesty in programming, on commit messages, maybe life in general. Honesty is very important, and especially to yourself, but also to others. Or at least don't lie to people. But this is something that I struggled with in my life. I had a hard time staying honest, and but I've recently become aware of it, or in later years, and something that I'm working on these days. But let me tell you about my honesty in programming problems. So, one thing that I've often done in the past, I try not to do anymore, is pretend that small bugs didn't exist. And what I would do is that I mean, if you have a big bug that's like super noticeable and everyone can see it, then of course it's hard to pretend that it doesn't exist. But for these small things, like little off by one errors or corner cases and stuff like that, stuff that people don't normally notice, what I would do is I would just pretend that they're not there, and then I would secretly fix them without mentioning it in the part as part of like a refactoring of surrounding code or a performance optimizations or something like that. Or even even sometimes deleting code if possible, um, and that was a very stupid behavior, but it was a habit that I had for a long time. That I would just not want to admit that small bugs existed. I would rather go through these weird lengths to hide them, make sure that they were never known by the world, you know. And that's a really stupid thing to do, because you're losing valuable information that would feed right into your own learning process, because you learn by observing the mistakes that you make. But I was just throwing that away, I suppose to protect my ego out of pride or something, or I don't know what it was, but it was certainly some type of personality defect, that's for sure. Um, so what I try to do now, and I'm definitely not perfect at this, and I definitely still screw up, but I try to fess up when I screw up as soon as possible after I realize. So it's a process, but I recently I had an issue like this in the. I mean, it's not an issue like this, but I had an issue in the Windows Server in Serenity, where when a GUI client program disconnects from the Windows Server because it's exiting, then what the Windows Server will do is just destroy all of the windows that belong to that client. And we do this because we keep all of the windows in a hash table, and it's a hash table of owning pointers. So when you destroy that hash table, or when you clear the hash table, then it will go through the pointers one by one and call delete on them. So that's how the windows get deleted. And of course, in the destructor of the client connection class in the Windows Server, that that table of windows that belong to the client gets cleared. Now, the problem that came up was that in response to being destroyed, each window might call back to the client and tell it like, hey, can you like iterate over your window list and see if you have something that matches this? For some like reason that's not important right now, but basically it would like try to iterate over the table while the table was being cleared, and that was causing a bug because we were like, the table was partially destroyed and you tried to iterate it. And I could feel this instinct inside me that like, oh, just try it. This is not good. Like, this is a stupid little bug. Like, we can just pretend that it was never there. We can just change the data structure or something, or you know, improve efficiency and not tell anyone about it. But I didn't do that. I was able to resist, and maybe it sounds stupid, but it's like a real problem that I've had. So I have to take it seriously because it's a detriment to myself and to everyone I work with. So yes, I was able to resist this urge to hide it, and instead I made a fix for it, and I explained in the commit message what the problem was. And then I try to go the extra mile, which is, first, I try to figure out, can this be prevented at compile time by changing some API or some types, or somehow using some kind of compilation compile time trick to prevent this type of bug from ever happening. But I couldn't think of any way to do that, so unfortunately, no compile time protection. But I could certainly assert that that you don't try to iterate over a hash table while it's in the middle of clear. So I added an assertion for that. And then I realize now that I should also add a unit test for this. I didn't do that yet. I should do that too. Because I think the three things that that I would like to do after fixing a bug is fess up to it, and then see if it can be prevented at compile time or runtime, and then also add a unit test. That's the kind of developer that I want to be. Like, that's like the ideal. I don't know, like some kind of ideal programmer that I would like to be. I would like to be the kind of person that does this, because that's like that's honest work, and I don't know, it's just something beautiful about it. I really want to be that way, so I try to just push myself to be that way. And when I get to my computer, I'm gonna write a unit test for this. Damn it. I haven't been super great about writing unit tests in Serenity so far, but it's something I've picked up recently and try to add a few as I go. And it just feels so right when you do it, you know? Even more so if you're doing it while you're or after you fix a bug, because you can sit there and write like these speculative unit tests, like, oh, it would be good to have a test for this or that. But like writing a test after fixing a bug to prevent from regressing again and having that same bug again, there's something just so right about that. Oh man. Anyways, I guess that's what I was thinking about today. Have you ever struggled with programming honesty? Did you ever try to hide your bugs? I try not to anymore, but I can still feel that voice inside me saying, hey, nobody has to know. But it's a stupid voice, and I don't want to listen to him. So I'm out here trying to resist him every day. Other than that, I guess I should say thanks for hanging out with me on the commute, and hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.